Once upon a time, in a land where shadows whispered secrets and the winds carried tales of old, there lived a king who had a wife named Silver Tree and a daughter named Gold Tree. Silver Tree was as cold as she was beautiful, with a heart that mirrored the sharp edges of winter's frost. Gold Tree, in contrast, was radiant and warm, her beauty as gentle as the first light of dawn. One fateful day, Silver Tree and Gold Tree wandered to a secluded glen, hidden deep within the ancient forests. There, in the heart of the glen, was a well, its waters dark and mysterious, and within it, a magical trout glided silently. Silver Tree, ever vain, leaned over the well and whispered, her voice like ice cracking, "Troutie, bonny little fellow, am I not the most beautiful queen in the world?" The trout's voice echoed up from the depths, calm but with an edge that cut through the stillness. "Oh, indeed you are not." Silver Tree recoiled, her reflection in the water shattering into ripples. "Who?" then she demanded, her voice a mere breath away from breaking. "Why, Gold Tree, your daughter," the trout replied, its words laced with a truth that seared Silver Tree's soul. The storm of rage and envy swirled within Silver Tree. Her once beautiful face twisted with jealousy as she returned to the castle, her mind dark with a single, consuming thought. She collapsed onto her bed, her body as cold as her heart, and swore that she would never rise again unless she could feast upon the heart and liver of her own daughter, Gold Tree. That night, when the king returned to the castle, he found Silver Tree pale and feverish. His heart ached to see his queen so stricken. "What ails you, my queen?" he asked, his voice full of concern. "There is but one thing that can heal me," Silver Tree murmured, her eyes gleaming with a feverish light. "Name it, and it shall be done," the king promised, unaware of the dark wish that lay behind her words. Silver Tree's voice turned cold and merciless. "If I get the heart and the liver of Gold Tree, my daughter, to eat, I shall be well." The king's heart faltered, torn between his love for his daughter and his desire to save his queen. But fate intervened, for at that very moment, a prince from a distant land arrived, seeking Gold Tree's hand in marriage. The king, desperate to protect his daughter, agreed to the marriage, and soon Gold Tree was whisked away to the safety of the prince's faraway kingdom. To deceive Silver Tree, the king ordered his huntsman to bring him the heart and liver of a he-goat, which he then presented to his wife. Silver Tree devoured the organs with a savage hunger, believing she had consumed her daughter's flesh. Her strength returned, but her heart remained as twisted as before. A year passed, and Silver Tree, her beauty now shadowed by a deep-seated malice, returned to the glen. Once more, she called upon the trout, "Troutie, bonny little fellow, am I not the most beautiful queen in the world?" The trout's reply was as sharp as a dagger, "Oh, indeed you are not." A chill of dread ran through Silver Tree. "Who?" then she hissed, her nails biting into her palms. "Why, Gold Tree, your daughter," the trout said, its voice unyielding. "She lives, married to a great prince abroad." Silver Tree's rage ignited like wildfire. She returned to the castle, her mind set on one thing alone: revenge. She demanded that the king prepare a long ship for her journey. "I am going to visit my dear Gold Tree," she lied, a poisonous sweetness in her tone. The long ship cut through the waves like a blade through silk, and Silver Tree herself took the helm, her eyes locked on the distant horizon where her daughter's life bloomed in happiness. The journey was swift, driven by the dark storm in Silver Tree's heart. Gold Tree, from the safety of her castle, spotted the ship approaching. Her blood ran cold. "My mother is coming," she whispered to her servants, terror tightening her chest, "and she will kill me." The loyal servants acted quickly, locking Gold Tree in a room hidden deep within the castle, beyond the reach of Silver Tree's wickedness. But Silver Tree was relentless. Upon landing, she called out in a voice that echoed with false affection, "Come to greet your mother, Gold Tree, for I have traveled far to see you." Gold Tree's voice, muffled by the heavy door, answered, "I cannot, for I am locked in this room." A twisted smile curled Silver Tree's lips. "Then put out your little finger through the keyhole, so that your own mother may give it a kiss." Gold Tree hesitated, But the pull of her mother's voice, tinged with an unnatural sweetness, was too strong. She reached out, trusting as only a daughter could be, and extended her finger through the keyhole. With lightning speed, Silver Tree drew forth a poisoned needle hidden within the folds of her cloak and pricked Gold Tree's delicate finger. The poison was swift and deadly. Gold Tree collapsed, lifeless, as the door echoed with the sound of her falling body. When the prince returned from his hunt, he found his beloved wife cold and still, her beauty now shrouded in the silence of death. Grief-stricken, he could not bear to bury her. Instead, he placed her in a room, sealing her away from the world, as if to preserve her beauty forever. Time moved on, and the prince remarried, though his heart remained with his lost Gold Tree. His new wife, kind and curious, soon noticed the room her husband kept locked and the sorrow that never left his eyes. One day, when the prince accidentally left the key behind, she entered the room. There, bathed in the soft light that filtered through the windows, lay Gold Tree, as perfect and untouched by time as the day she had died. The new wife noticed a small wound on Gold Tree's finger, and without hesitation, she removed the poisoned stab. In an instant, Gold Tree's chest rose with a breath long withheld, and her eyes fluttered open, filled with the light of life once more. That evening the prince returned, his heart as heavy as always. His wife, sensing his pain, asked gently, "What would make you smile again, my love?" He sighed, his voice weighed down by sorrow. "Only if my dear Gold Tree were to live again, could I ever smile." A soft smile played on the new wife's lips as she took his hand. "Then smile, for she lives." Disbelieving, the prince rushed to the room, and there, standing as if no time had passed, was Gold Tree. His joy was boundless, and he gathered her into his arms, kissing her as if to make up for all the lost moments. The new wife, seeing their love, stepped back with grace and offered, "Since she was your first love, it is right that you should be with her. I will leave you to your happiness." But the prince, overcome with gratitude and affection, said, "No, you shall not go away. I will have both of you by my side." As the seasons turned, the shadow of Silver Tree lingered, but for the first time, the warmth of Gold Tree's presence began to thaw even the darkest corners of the prince's heart. Another year passed, and Silver Tree, consumed by a fire that no beauty could quench, returned to the well. Her voice, now harsh with desperation, called out, "Troutie, bonny little fellow, am I not the most beautiful queen in the world?" The trout's reply was as cold and final as the wind on the Day of the Dead. "Oh, indeed you are not." "Who?" Then Silver Tree's voice cracked, her once beautiful face twisted by the poison in her heart. But this time, the trout's words were the final judgment. "Gold Tree, your daughter, lives, and it is she who is the fairest of all." Silver Tree's scream tore through the stillness of the glen, a sound that echoed through the ages, a reminder of the doom that comes to those who let jealousy consume them. And so Gold Tree lived on, her beauty and kindness untainted, while Silver Tree, consumed by her own darkness, faded into legend, a tale whispered in the wind, warning all of the perils of envy and the enduring power of love.